Hey, what's going on, everybody? Choco here. Before we get on with this episode, I did want to record a small apology for everybody. I have been away for personal reasons for a little while here, and I know that some people are probably like, where is your content? So that's where I've been. I've been minding that. But basically, I hope to be back. I kind of want to throw myself wholeheartedly into video creation and content creation stuff. So look forward to some things. I'm not going to commit to a schedule yet because a lot of things have changed recently. But basically, what I'm hoping for is I'd like to do Minecraft every other day, more or less. I'd like for that to be 4 times a week. And then I'd like to upload 2 vlogs a week if that works. And we'll see how that goes. But I'm not sure. I would, in theory, if I'm doing super well or if I'm really just feeling it, we might end up doing Minecraft like every day. I don't know. I do feel like it would be kind of cool to do Minecraft every day. But anyways, I'm not sure where things stand. I'm sorry about that. I know some of you are probably just like, oh, well, I kind of like would like to know. I just want to know now, Choco. Why can't you tell me? And the answer is I just don't know. I just don't know where we are at with everything right now. But as soon as I know, you guys will. But anyways, I hope you all stay safe, and I hope you all are good. And take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys. Well, I guess you're going to enjoy this episode. I know that this is being recorded like a while after the episode was recorded, but enjoy this episode. And yeah, I hope that you continue to enjoy everything. So anyways, take care, and let's hop into this one. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Choco here, and welcome back to some more Choco's World. And today, we got ourselves a really wild episode, at least from my perspective. It's kind of weird because I don't typically do this. This is going to be kind of strange because I'm usually not one to step forward and make a mob farm, which is going to be the point of today's episode. And you can see it up there. I already got the schematic and everything placed down because I really do not want to guess on this particular thing. But we're going to be making this on a corner right here. So it's kind of a goofy placement. But we're going to be placing it right above our like little item sorting thing because this is going to have probably one of the highest amounts of throughput of items that we're going to need to worry about. So that's why I went ahead and built it here. I also built it in a place where I thought it was relatively low to the actual bottom of this whole area. So this should, in my mind, work perfectly fine. And I think this is, of course, going to be well within the bounds of making sure that we're not going to have anything goofy going on in terms of mobs. At least I don't think so. I think this is going to be a fairly efficient farm. It's not perfect. It's definitely not going to be the absolute end-all be-all kind of setup for farms, but this is going to be pretty cool. Now, I'm going to go ahead and kind of do what I did last time. I'm going to just kind of go around and gather materials and stuff so I can actually make this thing. This has actually... So here, let me get to a better position so you guys can see this a little bit better. So you can see here, there's going to be this layer is going to be a collection layer. And then these layers here are in between are the actual spawning plates. I think they number 10. And then this one is both the ceiling as well as the activation point for the redstone. And the way this is going to be is this is going to be a flushing farm, which is just a way of saying like this is going to be using water to kind of push the mobs off the platform into the collection point. Then they're going to go from here, fall down, and hit this hopper set right there. And then they're going to go ahead and be dead. Also, in terms of where we're going to be standing to have this thing operating, I'm not going to be standing at the bottom, although I certainly could. I'm going to actually be up here, and this is why it's so darn tall. You can see there's like one little glass thing up here. This is going to be where I'm hoping to stand. It's going to be directly on top above. Now, this is going to be following a design by, of course, Nembon. I've been really enjoying his fun farms. I just wish there were more of them. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and follow basically his design. I did a couple of little tiny alterations here and there. Instead of using his repeater set, which I acknowledge is probably the smarter thing to do, because that's going to probably not be as vulnerable to things like whenever you're loading in new chunks or whatever. But we are going to use a hopper clock. I think that's fine. I don't think that's going to cause any kind of really broken behavior, and that should do the trick. And other than the kind of just the placement of it, we're building it a little bit lower because, of course, we are enjoying having this massive area all freed up. So pretty darn cool. Now, in terms of what we're going to be needing for our entire set of materials and such, because I have gotten into the habit of doing this, so I figured I would go ahead and continue doing so, is we're going to go ahead and get our mob farm. Again, credit to Nembon, as you can see his name right there. But material list, and this is what we're going to be rocking with. Now, as far as I'm aware, every single thing here is just about necessary with one very minor exception. That exception is going to be a little bit of, so you guys can see that outer rim, I think it's made of slabs, but there's going to be a little bit of extra slabs written down as they are necessary, even when they're not. So if you're kind of curious about that, that's what's kind of going on with that. But we are going to be using slabs mainly. I don't really like building with slabs. We're going to be doing it this time because it should hopefully cut down on the amount of work that I need to do in order for that to work. So that should go quite nicely. And then on top of that, we got ourselves just kind of basic collection things and a whole lot of dispensers and a handful of buckets. Obviously there it says like we need 66 water buckets. You don't need that many. You can just go ahead and make an infinite water source, but you will be needing, I think, at least 10 water buckets to bring with you for the flushing platforms. So anyways, again, for the benefit of you all, let's go ahead and show the material list again. I'll just kind of go like stone and stone slabs. I think this is pretty self-explanatory in that this is the building stuff. Just be aware, this is mainly just something you have to be able to build with. Obviously, don't use things like glass because they can't spawn mobs and junk like that, but something solid and just generally can interact as like many building blocks would. General blocks should work fine here, and slabs you could probably use building blocks instead of slabs for most of the cases. There's one area where that's not going to be true, which is I think the ceiling, but other than that you're going to be fine I think with just about anything else. Water bucket we talked about, hoppers for collection system and also for the hopper clock, and then the oak signs are going to be for the dropping area. Dispensers and observers are working together to make sure that we have the flushers going. The chest is just there as like, this is where the collection area would be, so I guess you don't really need that. Glowstone. Oh, I think the glowstone is up at the top, if I'm not mistaken. I have 2 pieces of glowstone just to light up the immediate area where the redstone is happening. I don't think it's necessary, but we do have that there. Comparators for the redstone clock, same with the redstone dust, the sticky pistons, the block of redstone. The dropper is not technically part of the clock, but it's just kind of the part that basically changes state to make sure that the rest of the flushers cascade. So that's what that's doing. The one glass is of course going to be where our AFK thing is. So whatever you want to do for that, that's going to be what you need. The sea lanterns, ignore that. That has absolutely nothing to do with anything. So you guys don't have to worry about that. That has nothing to do with anything. But hopefully this gives you a good idea of the materials they're going to be needing. And yeah, it's a fair bit of materials, but it shouldn't be too terribly bad. And thankfully it's stuff that like is pretty straightforward to go gather. So I'm going to go ahead, get cracking on with this, and we'll keep going. Oh, and also we've gone ahead and we put in the first bit of stuff that we want to put into our sorting system. Now, as an additional note for those people who are like looking at this thing and going like, I'm kind of thinking about doing this, but like I want to set it up right from the get-go, but I don't want this to necessarily like go into the first open slot, right? Which is what would happen in this particular system setup. The way you get around doing that is number one, you're going to want to go ahead and put like your filler items to make sure that only one type of item can be accepted. So what we've gone ahead and done here is we've put in these poopies everywhere, right? And then you put in one of the item that you want. However, if you'd like to go ahead and just kind of let them auto decide like where they want to be, you're like, I just know, like, let's say I just didn't want it to be on this side. I want it to be on that side. I don't care where on that side. I just want it to be over there, not here. Just put in something in the meantime to sit in these hoppers with the poopies in them, and then just go ahead. It'll just be like, oh, we can't fit into there because there's something else in there. You can use another poopy if you want to block it off for the time being. And I'll just keep on going on. When it reaches the point where it can go through, because it's an open slot, it'll automatically go down there and it'll start working. So if that's something that you are curious about, that is the way that works. But otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get to farming, and then we'll be back whenever we have the materials and we can get to building this bad boy. And yeah, I'm excited because this should be able to spawn zombies, skeletons, spiders, sort of Enderman, I think. I don't really know if I would really bank on this for Enderman. There can be some witches. I think it is, well, actually, I don't know. It might be low enough where it might spawn a couple of slimes here and there and so forth, but I'm not really sure. I don't know what else it can spawn other than that. I think that's about it. So zombies, skeletons, oh, creepers as well, right? And that's gonna be a big thing. If you would like to, as an additional note, I don't think I'll be doing this, at least not as of right now, but I do want to acknowledge something that I'm like to point out. These flushing platforms, you'll be able to, I think, understand a little bit better once it's already kind of set up. But you could put trapdoors on top of here and make some of these layers into creeper layers, and that would be perfectly fine. I'm not going to really worry about that because it's not something that's super important to me, but just kind of if you are interested in making it so it's like, well, well, you know, like I do want general mob drops, but I also would like to have a little bit more gunpowder. That's a good way about it. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get cracking on, and I'll see you guys when I'm ready to go and have all the good stuff, all the goods. We've got all the materials. We have a heart full of hope. Let's do this thing. And actually, wait a minute. I lied. We're not quite ready yet. And I think, you know what? We're going to do this together, because this is going to be something that I think that's going to be pretty important, a pretty life-changing moment for us here on the channel. And I can do this now because we're making a mob farm. So I'm going to go ahead and get some string first and foremost. And you might be like, string? Why do you need string, Choco? Well, I'll show you in a minute. But first, let me get some string. I think it's time. I think it's time for us to indeed make some scaffolds. I am so ready to use scaffolds. We have never really used it. I am ready. Like, we used a little bit of it over there, and that's all fine and whatever. But let's actually use scaffolds today. I think it's going to be awesome. So, okay, we got ourselves all the materials. The water buckets we can not worry about. I know that the material list down there still lists it. Don't worry about that too terribly much. But we're going to go ahead and start putting this whole thing together. And I'm going to be starting it from the bottom upwards. Just because I think, number one, it makes my life a little bit easier. I did think about doing it from the top down, but I think that doing it from the bottom upwards makes a little bit more sense. So that should be pretty cool. Oh, actually, there was one more thing that, do I really care about it enough? Maybe I do. Do I? I don't really know. We'll YOLO it. I'm going to live life dangerously. The problem is that I just realized I don't have torches, so I'm not going to be like lighting these things up. So once I put the ceiling up, it's going to be super dangerous, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. All right. So first thing first, I'm going to go ahead and take some of my hoppers, and I'm literally just going to slap a hopper into here, and that's going to be that. Now, the orientation is going to be wrong because I basically I made a different assumption whenever I was first making this whole thing. And so the idea here is I'm going to be making these bad boys in such a way where they're all feeding into the central hopper rather than it being me building these into kind of like one direction outward like that to the side. I'm going to make it so it's centralized. I think that's a smart idea. And I really hope it is. We'll see. I'm not super sure as to like how the actual like mechanics of this would work, but I'm going to just try to do some kind of silly, interesting little shindig of a pattern here, and hopefully that makes some degree of sense. But let me go ahead and just put these into here. Oh, Ron, thank you for 5-month resub. Let's go. One more for 6. That will be half a year. And of course, nice time for me to sell out. If you guys would like to catch me on Twitch, you know, hang out, get to know me a little bit better, ask me intimate questions such as, bro, what does that smell? Did you pass gas? Feel free to swing on by. It's a pretty great place. We're full of really cool people. We're very intelligent. I only screw up half the time. Do it. Can you not put, what? Does it have to be Ew. I think it might have to be a solid block. Interesting problem. Okay, so I guess we'll do that for the time being. Kind of a goofy problem to run into. Yep, okay, I guess that works. All right, so a couple of important things as we kind of get into the actual building of this bad boy. So I'm going to go ahead and build upwards. So we're going to start with the basin first. And this is also going to double as like the main thing that's going to require water. Now, again, we will need water later on, but for right now, we're just going to make the basin here. This is going to be important for collecting all the mobs into one point, because basically it's going to drop the mobs down. It's going to kill the mobs for the most part. There will be some that can survive, but this is going to end up being a way for us to collect all kinds of mobs. And we're going to have a perimeter of signs here to make sure that the spiders fall over. I am going to do this whole build with you guys instead of just time-lapsing it, because this has like actual functional purpose and application. Now, not all of it obviously will be super duper like, oh, this is so mind-blowingly important and different. Like that's not going to be the case. But in terms of the things that can be interesting to learn about, I do think that this is one of them, because this is pretty wild in terms of It took me a little bit, at least for me, and you guys might be smarter than I am. That's perfectly possible. But I personally did find this to be a little bit complicated and a little bit weird because I didn't quite understand why that Nembomb did the things that he did. But with this, like I did take some time to kind of understand how it works, and I think I have a pretty decent understanding of it. How do I make you to the side? I don't get it. That just keeps on building to the side though. I don't want to go up anywhere. I want to go to the side. How do I make it go to the side? I don't understand how. I don't get it. Okay, well maybe I can just like do stone or something. Okay, cool. So we're just going to do this. All right, so first thing first, I'm going to go ahead and build out to here and start working on the basin. I do have, of course, a healthy amount of stone slabs with me. These stone slabs are going to be pretty cool. You don't necessarily have to use stone slabs, but it does make the overall recipe a little bit cheaper. It also is, of course, going to be pretty darn handy. Oh, no. Okay, I'm gonna go get it. Oh! Okay, good. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered to fill into the storage system. It would have popped out. Or actually, no, it wouldn't have necessarily popped out, actually. I don't know. I guess it would have gone into one of the weird, like, sorting hoppers and stuff. Okay, so actually, this is kind of a low-key good thing that it didn't do that. All right, so let me go ahead and let's mosey our way back on up here. So basin thing, this is going to be also the only part of the build that is not going to be accurate to the blueprint that you guys are seeing, and this is the reason why. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to have a central point, right? So you're going to pick your middle for where everything is going to drop. So we had a 5x5 hopper set down the bottom here, and then we're going to go ahead and maintain the 5x5 hole here, but then we're going to go from this center point. I think it's going to be a total of 7, if I'm not mistaken. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it's 9 out on this level. You're then going to go ahead and make yourself this kind of T thing. And then you would effectively do this on all 4 sides, and you just go ahead and make a little diagonal and fill in the whole middle part. I'm using Lightmatica, so I don't have to quite do that part here. But this is going to be your very bottom layer of the basin, right? So we're using top slabs in this case. To be honest, I'm not really sure why we use top slabs here. I would imagine that you could use bottom slabs, although I'm not entirely sure like what the consequence would be. Just be aware that this part, well, I guess it doesn't matter because if mobs spawn in here, they're just going to get pushed down to the bottom, so I suppose it doesn't hurt. So we're just going to go ahead and do this and make this nice area with all these top slabs put around. And then there's going to be kind of this bottom layer and then 2 more layers basically. Now the 2 layers act as a way for them to kind of direct water more so than anything else, which is why it's multi-layered. If you're wondering like, why not just make it like flat and then just use things? It's an easier way for it to go, number one, a certain amount of distance because, well, you can't see them right now, but if you were to look upwards, you'll see that these spawn plates, we need to make sure that we are letting mobs fall from the outside of those spawn plates down to here and we're capturing them. So it does have to have a certain size, which is why we're doing it the way that we are. So I'm going to go ahead and keep on plugging along here and putting this together. And this will also give you an idea of like how long you're realistically going to be wanting to put aside if you're going to be building this in your world. I do think that this is reasonably affordable, especially with the way that Nembon has made this version of it. He has other variations where it's like more efficient and other stuff, but I think for your average player, this is more than enough in terms of efficiency. It's actually really cool to watch. But yeah, this should do you just fine. I don't really think that you're going to be too bent out of shape if you're kind of not rocking the full thing, but this should be relatively cheap. They can do it maybe not at the beginning of your worlds, maybe not at the beginning of your playthroughs, but probably like, I would say maybe after you've kind of secured yourself like a really decent flow of like iron and stuff. Like once you've gone mining and you have like a decent supply of like redstone, you have a decent supply of iron, and you have, you know, a good number of building blocks and stuff like that. You will need access to the nether. That's going to be, in terms of like progression wise, that's going to be the furthest point you will need to go as far as I can think, because you're going to need quartz for the observers. I guess you could theoretically kind of like do some really sketchy redstoning, but honestly, you really should at that point. At that particular point, you really ought to be able to get at least some quartz, right? I think we needed like a total of, oh geez, we have what, 2 comparators, and we had 2 comparators and 10 observers, right? So I think that's a grand total of 12 quartz. So you really ought to be able to get what you need for this. All right, let me go ahead and hop on up. Now, as I'm doing this, I do always run the risk, because I am kind of being a goofball about it, but you do run the risk of mobs spawning along with you. I would personally recommend, if you're doing this and you're wanting to be safe, to probably bring some torchies with you. I don't think it's like super dangerous, this build, but it's a mob farm. I mean, it's literally designed to spawn mobs. So if you don't light things up as you go and you don't have the water things pushing things down, you're likely to run into some problems at some point with a mob getting a smart aleck idea, including creepers. Don't forget, creepers are still a thing, and they will try to mess you up. And don't forget as well, they could, of course, repurpose different floors, have certain kinds of things. Like you can make it so a certain platform maybe isn't so friendly for spiders to spawn in, for example. Or maybe you want something that's going to make it so it's going to sort your mobs a little bit more. You can probably get away with doing a lot of those things. But I think for all intents and purposes, this is a very simple general use farm. It's going to get you all the main drops that you need. For me, the things of interest are going to be, of course, the gunpowder mainly. And then to some smaller degrees, the spider drops are actually something that's important to me. The eyes are really mainly for brewing, obviously, but the other part of it is the string. Having a solid source of string, I think, is going to be a pretty nice part of this whole kit and caboodle, and I think it's going to be nice. So let me go ahead and let me set up our headquarters here for Uno Momento. And I'm going to go ahead and put down a whole load of these signs. Now, the reason, again, for these signs here is because of the fact that what we're trying to do is use the signs to let the water flow one more past kind of where we initially were at, right? Ooh, what? Ah! Okay, we're good. So we're going to go ahead and you're going to see whenever the water starts to flow that we're going to have it go one further. The reasoning to my understanding of why this is important is because this is going to push the spiders a little bit further, which makes it more likely that they drop down. So if you're wondering as to like, but like Choco, what's the point? That's the point. The point is that you want to have, I don't know if that was captured or not. The point is to have the spiders fall a little bit more easily into here. So if you're wondering why that is, in general, I think that most of, I mean, it's Nembon, right? Like it's a quality kind of instructional video. So if you can't tell, I'm a little bit of a fan. I really like the way they present information. I think it's a really good, I guess, listen and watch. But anyways, okay, so we've gotten that part done. Let's go ahead and do the next part here. I'm going to put a temporary block right there. And we're going to make this extra ring around what we just made one block higher, another top slab. But here's the thing. Here's the catch. These right here, it's going to be kind of goofy at first because you're going to be like, I don't really understand how this works. The way that I found this easiest to do is look for your center parts that you made, right? So this one is 3 wide, right? So let me like hide that for a moment. So this is 3 wide right here. For the 3 wide part, this is the only time you're going to be pushing, or no, sorry. So from the 3 wide part, you go 3 deep, right? So 3 deep like that, and you do that for all the other spots, right? So for here, you're just going 3 deep, and you're going to expand this ring out a little bit more, okay? So here we have the 3 wide, now we're going 3 deep, and then we're going to go ahead and repeat this process. And you're going to notice that all these are 3 deep all the way through until we get over there, and then you're going to notice that we're going to basically just repeating the same exact thing. So go ahead, extend this out by 3, and then you're just going to keep on going with this pattern, and you should have a perfectly made little like diagonal kind of thing on the corners. So if you're wondering how it's supposed to look, it should be making perfect diagonals across from the actual straightaways, right? So from here, it's a diagonal. So it's going to go flat for 3, and then it's going to be a diagonal, flat for 3, diagonal, flat for 3, diagonal, and so on and so forth. Now, I do have a little bit more of stone slabbage. And by a little bit more, I mean an astronomical amount more. But this of course is going to take quite a few resources. If you wanted to be a little bit on the cheaper side of things, I would actually argue that stone is probably cheaper in terms of like you could AFK cobblestone. What you call it? Cobblestone. What do you call those things? Generators. But you can make a cobblestone generator that is gonna get the job done. You can AFK at it, especially if you're not playing in a hardcore world. You could absolutely do that, and I think it would be a perfectly acceptable thing. It'll make your life a lot easier, IMO. But let me go ahead and just pop that into here. You know what? I'm actually going to do something goofy here. I'm going to make this diagonal first. I feel like this is going to make it go by a little bit faster. Okay, cool. Yeah, because I have a sneaking suspicion that it's going to be faster to do that than kind of loop back in. And then that way all we have to do is we just have to fill in on a straightaway. I think that's going to be a little bit easier. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. Okay, so let me see if that works again here. So I'm just going to go ahead, take the outside diagonal, and then we're just going to go ahead and just kind of snake our way through. Yeah, this is a little bit simpler. I don't necessarily know if it's faster, but it certainly is requiring less of my brain cells. All right, cool. And then we've hit another straightaway. And again, since I know not everyone's going to be running Lightmatica, just remember that you can always use what you have on the inside as a guide. Once you hit the flat, you're just going to go ahead and extend that flat 3 out on a higher level, and you should be all good to go. Okay. Just like this. We're making it happen. We're really making it happen. We're about to make this. And also, if you are a longtime viewer of this channel, I hope you appreciate what we're doing here. A lot of other folks, if you've just recently joined, or if you just happen to be clicking onto this video, like, I don't know anything about those Choco guys, seems kind of fishy to me. I actually really hate making mob farms. I really don't like making them. But this one has been pretty, I think we're going to have a good time with it. So I'm looking forward to it. All right. Anywho, enough of that. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to actually make myself, I'm going to put this slabberino right down here. It doesn't really belong there, but I'm going to put a stone block on top of this, break that away. You don't really need to break it away if you don't want to, but I want to keep things nice and uniform. And then now that you've done this part, you're going to go ahead and I'm using a stone block, okay, on some of these. Now, I'm going to acknowledge that this is sort of silly, the way that I've done this. But the way I've done it, because I'm crazy, and I don't know why I like to do this myself, is that I made it so I basically got really upset that I kept on waterlogging. I don't know if I should be admitting this to you guys. I basically got really annoyed that I kept on trying to basically, how to say, I was trying to put water down, and I was not doing a very good job of it. So I used a full block of stone because I was being a child. That's the truth of the matter. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and make a diagonal here. You don't need to use alternating blocks like I am. In truth, if I remember correctly, this actually turns out to have a layer of stuff that's not even necessary. Let me make sure I'm not lying to you guys. Yeah, so there's going to be some blocks here that are going to end up not even being used forever. But follow this design that I'm doing right here of just making a little diagonal pattern. Whoop, and hopefully not being a derposaurus. And what this is going to be doing is this layer right here is going to be where our water is flowing from. Now, you might be wondering why exactly I'm doing it the way that I'm doing it. Again, it's because I don't like the fact that the water logging was getting in the way. But, and perhaps more importantly, what this is going to allow you to do is by adding in this extra outside layer. I know it doesn't look like an extra thing now, but later on you'll see how this works out. Basically, we're making it so the path of least resistance, so to speak, or where it's going down, is going to be towards the center of our basin rather than towards the outside of the ring. That's why the extra blocks exist. If you're wondering why it is that we're doing this, I know some people get a clever idea and they're gonna be like, "Oh my goodness, I know, Choco, you silly fool! I found it out. I figured out a solution that's smarter than yours." And most times, yes, you may have found a solution smarter than mine, but This was actually something that I think is pretty darn important because of the fact that if you don't have some of these blocks, you're going to have your water flowing every which way, and you don't want that. So I'd recommend you go ahead and you keep that diagonal alive. Now, of course, if you have like your own basin thing, like if this is supposed to fit into your base in a different way and you want it to have a different aesthetic look, then yeah, I mean, just make sure that they're all funneling towards the middle and you should be fine. If you want to be crazy about it, I suppose you could do something insane like, I don't know, have like a flying machine that just goes back and forth and just kind of shoves everything off. I mean, I guess that's possible. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but hey, if that's your thing, follow your heart, follow your dreams. And also, whatever you do, do not follow your farts, because that would be bad. I don't know why I am currently in the mood to make a bunch of juvenile jokes, as I am a man of class. But, I don't know. I'm feeling kind of rambunctious today. I'm feeling kind of silly and snotty, and I took a serious amount of damage from that. All right. There we go. Very nice. And now that I've played Pokemon Sword and Shield, I can use all the British slang and mannerisms. Chuff to bits, cuppa, stuff like that. Oh, I feel British already. Never so scared in all my life. I wonder if this means that the Aussies would accept me. I wonder if they would count me in as one of their people. All right, let's see here. Let's wrap up this basin. Now, this one, by and far, is IMO the longest part of this whole process. So if you're like, my goodness, Choco, if this is like a specter of things to come, don't worry. This is probably the worst part of it. In all honesty, if you're a little bit better at building than I am, because I'm not a terribly great builder in terms of speed, probably can get through this part quite a bit faster. Also, you could probably save yourself a lot of grief by not using the extra block as alternating between slabs and stone. All right, so for all the things that I put down that were stone, yeah, so all these ones that you can visibly see from the center, all these things are going to hold water. You'll notice that none of the slabs do. And now this is going to be the part which comes into play that's pretty important. You can see here there's something going on here. Don't worry about that just yet. But let me go ahead and first and foremost, let's make ourselves a little bit of something just kind of off here to the side. So let me go ahead and just kind of slap something together here. All right. I have somehow forgotten that the beacon will be ripperoonied, so this is going to cause me so many problems. I can already tell that this is going to come back to bite me in a really annoying way, but that's all right. All right, so I'm just going to make an infinite water source for me here off to the side so I don't have to make quite as many trips. And then let me just go ahead and put the water bucket down there. And then another water bucket down here. Voila, infinite water source. Very cool. I feel so accomplished. Wow. I am basically the smartest human being that's ever lived. Kappa. All right. And then with this, I'm going to go ahead and swoop these guys up now. And if I did everything right, which you never really know, but let me go ahead. I'm going to move all of this stuff down so you can have a clear view of this. All right, so again, water going on the stone bits, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just flop water down there. You're going to see that goes kind of in a straight line, sort of, and then it's going to go like spill out to the basin itself. Now, obviously, if you have more buckets, this will go by faster, but I am extremely paranoid, therefore I'm going to do it the way that I'm doing it. But we're going to literally just fill this in ever so slowly and carefully, making sure that nothing is doing anything goofy like it's spilling out to the outside, because that would be kind of bad. And then we're just going to go ahead and fill this in. And you're noticing that right there, right? So if you look at where the water's spilling off to, it is going right above those signs, which of course is really nice and handy for us. So let me go ahead. And I'm just going to keep on keeping on. I would imagine that this would go much faster if you were just willing to make your entire hotbar into water buckets. Please, if you are watching this video and you're like, I'm going to do this, and you're at this step, get yourself some extra buckets. If you can afford it, get yourself some extra buckets. Save yourself time, man. I like to make my life harder. I don't know why. I'm just a crazy person. All right, so let me go ahead and just grab some more water out of there. Beautiful. All right, lovely. All right, so that's 1/4 of this whole thing done. We just have to keep on going. And actually, this is going to be a good time for me to mention something, because for the folks who made it to this part of the video, I have a question for you. So, have you guys noticed anything goofy going on with the ads? Obviously, this won't affect all of you, but for those of you that it does affect, let me know what you think about the way that the ads work. So, for those of you who don't know, whenever it comes to placing of ads, content creators can manually dictate, like, there's like certain rules we have to like kind of follow. But I'm kind of curious to know if you guys are like, if the ads are like too aggressive or too wacky or too crazy. Obviously, I know some people are gonna be like, I wish that there were no ads on the video. Actually, with you guys, I've heard the only ad complaint I think I've heard in a long time has been, Choco, we need more ads in the video, which I thought was kind of strange. But let me know how you guys feel about the ads in there, because I've recently been trying to trust the algorithm for YouTube. I know that's kind of like a scary thing to do, but I've been trusting that it's putting them in places that are sensible. I do notice that it seems to be aggressively putting them at the beginning of a video, which I assume is because like sometimes people will click off the video because they're like, I'm bored, I don't like this anymore, I'm going to watch something else. But let me know because like for the folks who stick around and for the people who care, I do want this to be a good experience, a good viewing experience for you all. So let me know, because usually what I try to do is with the ads and stuff, I try to time them so it's not super crazy. For the first hour, I'll do like every 15 minutes, just like a little commercial break. And then after the first hour, if it's like a really long video, I scale that up to like 20 minutes. After that, it's like 30 minutes and stuff like that. So that's generally the timing I go for. But YouTube's algorithm's like, we think that these spots would make sense to put ads. I'm like, yeah. So let me know how you guys feel about that, because I would love that feedback. I'd love for any feedback, really, so I can make the channel a little bit better each and every day, because that's really important. So let me know, and I would appreciate your information, your feedback. All right, the basin's looking nice and geometrically pleasing. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I wonder what this would technically be considered. I'd imagine that this would more or less be considered to be a really weird octagon, right? Because like we do have some flats, and then we have the diagonals, and I think the diagonals would count as like straight lines. So I guess this would be an octagon. All right. And beautiful. All right, well, let me go ahead. And put these down here now. And we're just about done on the last leg of it. And then we can do the part that's fairly simple and straightforward, in all honesty. Now, I know also some people are probably like wondering what the efficiency of the farm is in terms of like, what kind of rates will I get on this farm? Honestly speaking, I don't know, and I don't think I'd be able to give you an answer, because of the way that the spawning mechanics work specifically in 1.14.4. I can't speak to any other version, but as far as I know, the mechanics in 1.14.4 can be kind of goofy. And so because of the way that like height and stuff works, and like what's lit up and what's spawn proofed and everything, a lot of different factors are going to change what kind of rate you get out of this farm. For me, I think this is a good solid farm. that's about the only piece of feedback I can realistically give you that makes any version of sense. So just be aware, like I can't really give you like a ton of feedback on this, but that's kind of where I stand with the whole thing. All right, so let me go ahead. We're going to swoop up this water right here. Very nice. And then I'm just going to go ahead and break down all these stone blocks because they don't belong here. And the basin is almost complete. We have one more step to do before the basin is done. And it's going to honestly be really straightforward. All right, so now that that's over, yeah, we're going to go through and we're going to go ahead and break off these slabs. Do you need to do this? No. Am I going to do this? Yes, because it's going to make sure that if any mobs hit the outside lip here, if they were to hit these things of blocks that have absolutely no water on them, they can like kind of mull around and linger there. So I would recommend they get rid of them. But you could probably figure out some other thing they can do here. If you're wondering why we don't do drop shafts, why we don't like put in like glass walls to make sure that the mobs fall exactly where we want them to, it's because spiders. Spiders will attempt to climb up the walls and do like really stupid things. So in an effort to not have that be a problem, we do this. So if you're curious as to why we do the things that we do, that is why. But we're almost there. I broke the wrong one. Are we okay? I think we're fine. No one has to know. Oh no. The redstone! Rip. We done goofed. We done diddly goofed. We done the big goofosaurus. Oh no. I have to go down there and fix it because I will not remember that we goofed that up. All right. There we go. Basin is done, and we wiped out exactly one strip of redstone, which is pretty impressive in its own way. All right. And it looks like it's turning nighttime. So all in all, it's worked out. I mean, for the better, I would say. I would assume. All right. Let me go ahead. Boop, boop, boop. Very nice. And then get the rockets out. And then we're just going to go hit the hay. Very, very nice. All right, so let's go ahead, chomp chomp, and mosey our booties on up. Nope, just kidding. That is a fail. Actually, I was flying, but it just was a derpy fly, I think. Hold on. Oh, come on. That was a perfect executed jump. Okay, that one was a little bit late. I'm wasting so many rockets right now. I really hope this mob farm works because I am wasting rockets like crazy. Am I? What? Hello? Okay, hold on. No, I can do this. I am so embarrassed right now. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I am embarrassed. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to admit the fact that I basically use the equivalent of like a full-grown man using a floaty even though I know how to swim. I don't want to talk about it, all right? I don't want to hear anything about it. I don't want to talk about it. We're not going to acknowledge that that happened. We're just going to keep on keeping on. All right, so let's talk about the next bit of space here. Oh, Lord almighty, I think it might have captured it with water, did it? Oh, it did! It totally did! Wait, no, did it? Maybe it didn't. I don't know. I can't tell. Nope, that's definitely water. Rip. Okay, yeah, it did. All right, so... Whoop. Oh, okay. Now you make the scaffold to the side. Okay, I see how it is, buddy. Yeah, you go ahead and keep falling. What is happening? Okay, you know what? You want to be a rude dude? Fine, be that way. Be a rude dude. Okay, so we have ourselves all this shenaniganry and cool bean stuff. We're going to be using basically just slabs and junk here for a good while. So slabs, you're going to need for this part, slabs, observers, and dispensers. That's the main things you're going to be needing. So let me go ahead. I'm going to tuck away the water buckets for right now as they no longer really have a purpose in what we're doing. I'm going to tuck away the string in here as well because there's not really anything that we're doing with string. And the stone, surprisingly enough, I'm going to go ahead and squirrel those away right now as well. I will come back for the stone probably, but for right now, we don't need them. This is literally just going to be like slabs, dispensers, observers, and then also technically water buckets. But oh, speaking of which, actually, I can make my life a little bit easier. I can make my life a little bit easier if I'm willing to go make some buckets now and fill them with water. So let me actually go ahead and do that as well. So let me go ahead and make like a little happy thing here. Let me take our shulkies. I'm just going to keep on going back up and down for these things. I think that's fine. All right, so let me go ahead and then take some irons. And let me see. I'll do 5 buckets I'm holding on to for water. So we'll do 2 trips down here. for the water, I think that'll be fine. All right, so water, nope, water. Okay, very cool. And then we're just gonna go ahead and just boop, boop, take all that water up. Nice. And then I'm looking in here, and yes, it's true, I'll be needing the slabs, but let's make sure that I have the dispensers, the observers, and then a reconculous amount of slabs. All right, cool. And then I have chests in here that I don't really need. And also, because this is going to drive me crazy, let's also take off the HUD, because the HUD is, I have no idea why I did I don't know why I did that. All right, so let me go ahead and material lists, info HUD, get that out of the way. Nice. All right, so we have slabs and a whole bunch of other junk that I really don't need, that I'm not entirely sure why I'm holding on to it, but here, we'll move those to the side. All right, so we have even more slabs now. Let's go ahead and make our way up. And let's do this thing. Should be pretty straightforward here. So at this point, it's going to be about repetition, right? You're going to be doing the same exact thing multiple times. And you're just going to be stacking them on top of one another. So let's go ahead and get to our little area here. So from the basin, right? So I'm looking here at F3 and look at where it says looking at block. This says 49, where the signs are. And then this dispenser that I'm looking at over here is going to be at, I believe, so this scaffold right here is at 51. So this is going to be at 52. That's going to be where the first dispenser is. So each time you're going to kick things off with a dispenser facing upwards. Very important that it's facing upwards, okay? So there's our dispenser facing upwards. Very nice. And then you're going to go outwards from here, a total of 7 blocks, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Simple, straightforward, right? And then what we're gonna do is, I like to do it this way, although you're certainly welcome to do it whichever way you want. But I personally find it a little bit easier to follow along by just kind of going along down the side and just making it one shorter on each side. That's all you gotta do. And then that looks good, so I go over here and then we just fill it in. I think that this is a simple way to do it, but you do it however you want. I am going to record the entirety of me placing this down. So if you're like, Choco, get to the end of it, just be aware that I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be going ahead and showing you the whole thing. So you have a realistic expectation of, like, if I'm going to be building this in survival, I want you to prove to me how long it's going to take. And that's exactly what I'm hoping to do here. In terms of the other things, if you are curious at this point, you're just like, I just want to know what else is coming up, fam. Like, I can figure this out now. It's literally just like a hopper clock and a dropper for the top one where the dispenser would be. And then you're just having that cascade. But you'll see the observer part here in a moment. But yeah, there's a hopper clock at the very top. And that's really all you need to do for the very top of the whole thing. And just make sure that you build a big enough roof that, I forget the exact dimensions of the roof, but you're basically trying to make the roof so everything inside, like all your spawn platforms, are showing perfect darkness on every single spot. So just keep on expanding your ceiling to make sure that that's all going on, or just keep on watching the video and you can see exactly the dimensions that we're using over here, courtesy of Nembon. Okay. I am struggling to figure out how to play Minecraft. Feels bad, man. Oh, and also probably an important thing to note here. So we're using slabs, right? Be sure these are top slabs. These are non-negotiable. You need to make sure that these are solid blocks, because if you don't use solid blocks, mobs can't spawn. I know that some of you are rolling your eyes right now going, well, duh, Choco, but some people do not know this, so just be aware these do have to be they have to be made from your good old boy top slab. All right, so now this is going to be kind of a goofy thing here, right? So you're going to have the observer, but it's going to need to be facing upwards, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and build one more scaffold upwards, right? So that's where the observer should be. And I'm just going to put a temporary block on top, break that scaffold. And then I'm going to take my observer, I'm going to sneakily place it down like that. And there we go. And now I'm going to pop this once, and you're going to see that's going to activate the water, right? So just be aware that whenever you do that, this will cause it to go ahead and update the block. I'm now realizing that this is actually kind of a weird issue to have. Okay, so I'm going to take this bucket back. I'm going to put that on top there. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this out, break it. That's fine. All right, cool. I'm actually going to toggle one more time, so I should probably actually just hold on to this for the time being. All right, so anyways, above this is going to be the next dispenser upwards. So let me go ahead and just kind of weasel my way up. I have absolutely zero idea what's going on with this. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and then build a dispenser on top of there. Okay, cool. And so at this point, I don't expect this to have any change of state. But let's actually wait. I'm gonna wait to do this because I don't feel terribly comfortable doing it right now. I'm gonna hold off. This may be a bad idea. This is like I'm calling an audible here. We're gonna kind of change up the strat a little bit, but I don't like that idea a whole lot. So I'm actually gonna just leave those scaffolds right there. So this would be a good time for you to torch these platforms up. It would guarantee that you don't have to worry about mobs spawning on here when you come back to put in your water buckets. But for right this particular moment, I'm just going to go ahead and leave them be as it is. And we're just going to keep this going. So you're just going to repeat that process over and over again, right? So you're going to make the platform with a dispenser at the center. Go one block above that dispenser, make an observer that's facing down. And then on top of that, you're going to put the next dispenser and you just keep on going. And we're doing 10 floors of this. So we have a pretty good yield. And I think this should be pretty good. We'll have to see. But man, I'm not going to lie. This feels pretty awesome. I mean, to think of the fact that we're making a mob farm in hardcore vanilla is pretty wild. The more I think about it, the crazier it is. It's dawning on me how insane that is. That we're making a mob farm in hardcore vanilla. We're taming the game in the mode that's doing its absolute darndest to kill us. It's crazy. It's insane. It's absolutely bonkers. And speaking of absolutely bonkers, it is getting spooky dark. So let me go ahead and sleep away the night here. Also, at this particular point, you better believe that there's a chance for mobs to spawn up there. Oh, I did it! Pog! Alright. Ah, and actually, as we go about our business here, I will highlight another thing to you guys, which is talking about making these customized platforms for your farms. Now, obviously what we just did here, right, is it's going to give it effectively, I think it's like a 3 height, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's 2 height, I can't quite remember. But yeah, I guess it would be a 2 height. So this whole thing right here is going to spawn the mobs I talked about. I guess since it's a 2 height, I suppose it won't spawn Enderman. But everything else, fair game, right? Now, we talked about making things fine for your whole creepers to be only present for a platform. And that's done by using trapdoors. Honestly, if you're using creepers, like if you're doing a creeper thing, you probably do away. Like, I know you might be tempted to be like, I'm just going to put a cat here. You can probably get away with that, provided it's at the bottom. Like, you have to do it from the bottom upwards, because you have to make sure that the redstone signal passes through, right? So just be aware that you're going to have to make sure that the redstone signal is cascading downwards. But yeah, I suppose you could reasonably just say like, nah, fam, I ain't about that life, and you could just YOLO swaggins your way through. And that would be fine, I suppose. Okay. And then, nope. Okay, there we go. Very cool. So the only thing that would change about how we're doing this now, right, is I would go, I guess this is a 2.5 one. I don't know if, I don't think an Enderman can spawn here. I think they do need like a full 3 block. So anyways, put the dispenser down, yeah? And then if you wanted to make a creeper floor, all you got to do, right, is you're going to make sure that this is a full block. Yeah, so this needs to be a full block. So in this case, I would use either a stone block and then it would be 2 high and then put trapdoors all along it. Or I can make a double slab, or the case may be. But you need a full block and then put trapdoors right here, and it'll be like a little bit short of that 2 height, so you can make this creeper friendly. You could also do it as, if you're feeling kind of cheeky about it, you could also get away with doing it as a system where you are trying to stop spiders. You might be like, why would you ever do that though, Choco? Like, why would you ever want to stop spiders? It's mainly if you want to use drop shafts. That's the big thing, because spiders are kind of like, you know, they're thick boys. They're kind of like going through and just kind of living their life, and they'll attach themselves to walls, and they'll clog up your mob cap and do all this annoying stuff. So you do want to make sure you're accounting for it. But if you do get rid of spiders, there are different things that will happen. I would strongly recommend, if you're the kind of person that's like customizing and modifying your farm to fit a certain kind of agenda, please refer to Nembon's guide. It's very, very complete in terms of explaining a lot of things. My understanding is that there are certain mechanics he discusses that are kind of old. So he'll talk about like subchunks and stuff like that. You can disregard most of that information. But the premise shouldn't change a whole lot, right? In terms of like the spawning mechanics. So just be aware that there are a couple of things that are kind of outdated on that video. But overall, it should give you a fairly good idea of how certain things work. Like the idea of like how spiders stick to the walls and stuff, I believe. That's all accurate, for example. And of course, you can always do like weird things, like if you wanted to have skeletons fall a certain way, you could have a dog present or such and so forth. I just don't particularly think that it's really worth it. I have run this for, granted, not very long, but I did run this farm on my prototyping world for a little bit, and it was pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. And that was like kind of a sketchy implementation of it, to be honest with you. But yeah, should be pretty cool. I don't expect this thing to like absolutely blow me out of the water with the drop rates, but I do expect this to basically mean that even for gunpowder as a general farm, we should be good to go. I don't think I'm going to outpace this farm's production capability. So hopefully that's going to be a good indication for you guys as to like how powerful this farm is, because I think it's a pretty awesome farm. I know that like I could probably get away with doing like a simpler farm, but I don't know. I've been wanting to do a farm like this for a while, so I think this is actually kind of fun. I'm really having an absolute blast with this kind of stuff. I don't know. It's just so neat to me. It's such a neat concept. I've never made a cascading thing of like flushers before, which is a hilarious thing to say and even funnier to make. It's just, all this is just absolutely fascinating to me. I think it's so cool. But anyways, let me go ahead and put that through. And you can see here, it's pretty straightforward, honestly. This is something that you can definitely kick back, relax. If you have multiple people working on this, surprisingly, I think this could go like significantly better. I think this is actually a project that lends itself well to be being worked on by multiple people. If you were going to work with this or work on this project with, I think the ideal number would be 2. That's what my suspicion would be. But I would imagine that the second person just goes through and you can divvy up the plates to half and half. I do not think it makes a whole heck of a lot of sense for you to do like XD, I'm going to go ahead and just build like another floor while you work on another floor. Like, you can do that, but I don't know, at least for me, like I would rather build it more casually, more simply, like I am doing right now, than have to like worry about other stuff. But I guess if you're like trying to be optimal about it, yeah, I guess you can split up the work by plate. But I think just kind of hanging out and relaxing and just kind of doing it in this very simple way is a pretty smart way about doing it. I don't know. I think that's one of the reasons why people burn out in Minecraft, is because people are just like, they try to do things a little bit too intensely. And I feel like the people who have the most success in like Minecraft as a game are the people that kind of like have fun, play at a very relaxed pace sometimes. It's fun. So that's all good. Oh, also extra little tidbit, since we're now, you know, along the way for the platforms. You may have noticed in the description, I've snuck in a Patreon link. Now, the Patreon thing, I'm going to effectively count as being in effect as of December. I'm going to try to oblige to whatever people pledge for and stuff like that. But effectively, I'm going to be trying to, I'm kind of like getting everything ready to rock and roll with Patreon. So if you are interested in that, I certainly won't say no to the extra, like, bit of funds. But that, of course, helps me out. And also, I'm quite curious. Let me know if you can think of any perks that fit well with like the way that we do content, or things that maybe you've seen on other channels that you think would be kind of nice to have here, because I am kind of keen to see like what you guys would like to have from there, because I think it's a good way for us to be like, hey, for the people who are able to commit a little bit more to the channel and stuff, I do want to give you guys a hearty thank you. And the thing is, like, I don't want it to be something that takes away from others, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to like have it like be like, oh well, in order to really enjoy Choco, I gotta shell out some cash. I don't think I want to go quite down that route, but I do want to give you guys a little bit of like an extra set of perks and stuff, because I think that's a nice way of saying thank you. So let me know if you guys come up with anything. I put up some stuff in there that honestly I treated more as placeholders, but then people actually had put themselves down as patrons because I'm assuming they want me to suffer, which I'm not terribly keen on. But I think right now we also have it set up in such a way that it's not really the amounts that people pledge, but it's the number of people that pledge. So if you have people that are, if you're willing to chip in, I think you can chip in like $1 or whatever. But if you're willing to chip in, I think the lowest amount is 2. And if you chip in, there are like community goals and stuff, and we can have like weird things of content, and we'll kind of decide as we go along. I do intend to use the Patreon chat to be a pretty good indication of how we're going to progress going forward with it. Please be patient with me on Patreon. If you are thinking about being a patron there, please, 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 please be patient with me, because I have not done Patreon before. I'm not very experienced with it. I will try to make sure that you guys have something cool. But a lot of it's kind of like I leave it as a suggestion as to like what we could possibly do. And I'll try to make sure that we have something fun happen, that you guys get something for what you donate. But yeah, just let me know. Let me know how you feel about those kinds of things, and I'd be happy to oblige. Also, I'm going to be very upsetty spaghetti if you guys are actually going to try to like in an orchestrated fashion try to get me to play horror games, because I've somehow managed to live my life thus far without having that be a major problem. And I'm getting the sneaking suspicion that some people are conspiring against me to have me play games that I'm not terribly comfortable playing. Looking at you, Artie. All right, let's see here. Okay. And with this one, we're on the halfway mark, really. And off we go. I know some people were talking about the Patreon being like, oh, you know what'd be kind of cool? Bean Boozled. And I was like, that. I never did get to jump on the Bean Boozled like bandwagon. So I am kind of curious to know like what Bean Boozled jelly beans taste like. Admittedly, though, I have really bad reactions to food that I think tastes badly. So I'm also kind of like concerned that I'm going to make an absolute fool out of myself. But we'll have to see. I have no idea. But we'll have to see how that all goes down. I was thinking about like some spicy food challenges maybe. But we'll have to, I don't know. I don't know how that will exactly pan out either. So in other things, I think I even said I was going to like learn to dance or something. Please bear in mind that I reserve the right to be like within reason, obviously. Like if you ask me to like, you know, try to go dance on the White House lawn, I'm going to have to respectfully decline because I'd like to not be shot by like 20 Secret Service agents. But if you want me to like learn like a, you know, like a little fun dance, and if it looks reasonable, I'll try to like figure it out. Like the, oh man, like some of the Fortnite dances, which honestly, I'm going to regret having even mentioned that, I'm sure. But let me know if like fun little things, and please make sure that's like lighthearted. Please don't try to get me to do like anything too wild and nuts. Please, I beg. Oh, huh? Okay, I'm pretty sure I heard an on-fire zombie. Not really sure how that ended up being. Oh no! Wait. Okay, this is only for me. That this is gonna be an issue. I need to disconnect this hopper. And that's gonna go down the hopper line somewhere, and there you are. Okay, we should be good. I need to disconnect that hopper set because mobs will start to spawn, and I'm sure some of them will manage to fall down, and then when they fall down, they're going to try to go into my hopper system, and they're going to clog that up so quickly. Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. And there we go. All right, very cool. And off we go to the races. Also, great, I made my way all the way down. Maybe all the way back up. All right. Let me know as well. I'd like to have some more suggestions about content, but so this is a little bit different, but content for the Let's Play channel as well. I am gearing up to do hopefully a pretty steady set of recordings for the vlog channel, and I think I have a pretty clear plan for that. But let me know what you guys think for the Let's Play channel. I've been really struggling to find a game that I'm happy with for that channel. I was going to originally do like maybe some Call of Duty Modern Warfare, but then my computer like gasped for air. It was like, I can't do it, boss. And so I decided not to kind of continue barking up that tree. But let me know about some different ideas. I also had this really weird idea for a satire channel where I'm going to just like, I would just poke fun at like YouTube channels and like some of the things that they do because I think it's kind of funny. But I don't know if people like would find that humor terribly funny, because I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to be able to do like the really awesome edits of some other channels and some of the other things that they do. But what I could reasonably do is I could probably just kind of like poke fun at a couple things here and there, and not quite stand-up level, but you know, that kind of like just kind of, you know, basic humor. So let me know what you guys think. I'd be curious to know if there's any other kinds of content that you guys would be particularly keen on seeing. Okay. And oh yeah, actually that's a fair point. If you are interested in watching some more Pokemon, I don't know what happened, but not a lot of people seem interested. But I also kind of came to the realization about this the other day. I didn't think about this, but it is very true. I don't know what I would stream at the end game. I don't know like what everyone would want to watch. So for those of you who do follow my Let's Play of the Pokemon Shield game that I'm playing, like yeah, there's completing the Pokedex or whatever, and that's fine. But what the heck? But really, I don't really know what else there is to say or be done about the game after a certain point. It kind of does just like stop, I suppose, because I don't know. I'm not going to be playing like competitive PvP matches online. I can tell you right now, that's not going to happen. But there's Battle Tower. I just don't know how entertaining Battle Tower really is to watch. So do let me know. Give me some ideas. And whoop. But anyways, I was thinking like maybe we would try to do like, who knows, maybe I'll try to bring back Overwatch. I don't know. I was also contemplating, we've tried this a number of times in the past, and I know that like obviously a lot of people are gonna be like, bro, you're not good enough to do it. But I was thinking that maybe we could bring in like League of Legends. I don't think Dota. It would require quite a bit for me to do a Dota series on my channel ever again, especially with the most recent patch. But you know, I was thinking like maybe like a game up that alley. I know there are a couple of other ones that are floating around. Like I know a lot of people like really into Smite or like a lot of the high res games. But let me know. I don't necessarily think I would also want to dive too far into Nintendo land, because even though this is something that's like unlikely to happen because of the size of the channel and the viewership, I don't want to get on Nintendo's bad side. So I think Pokemon's a little bit different, but like I'd rather generally try to avoid Nintendo games being recorded and posted for Let's Plays, because I kind of get the feeling that Nintendo, if it's worth their time, they will come after me. So I don't really know if I want to mess with that a whole lot. But either way, let's go ahead. It's looking like this will actually end up being like maybe about an hour and a half build. That's not bad at all, actually. I'm surprised. Like we're already getting towards the tail end of what we're doing here. Again, it's not very complicated. It's not very expensive. And this is, again, it's to the credit of Nembon, really. It's clever. I think that's like the biggest takeaway about his farms. They're clever. They're thoughtful in terms of like, they're not super ridiculous in terms of cost. They're not overly complicated. And it really does kind of get to the heart of a bunch of mechanics. The one thing that's kind of a bummer about his farms, of course, is that they are prone to being like, they're at the mercy of Mojang, right? Like if Mojang one day is like, nah, we don't like that mechanic, it's possible that an entire farm design goes like up in smoke, or that there's like a massive amount of inefficiency put in there. Every single guide will be like kind of prone to this, but I feel like Nembon is particularly prone to this because there are like a lot of these like little mechanical things that he does and discusses that are, I feel like, could easily be changed and could really mess things up, but we'll have to see. But let me go ahead, fill these in, and see about this. And you can see this is pretty tall. Now, I will also make a point about this as well. There's probably something to be said about you probably can not have this be quite as high up and instead have like a killing chamber thing set up in a different way, either like nether portals to, you know, kind of siphon them out and then throw them into the nether, and then in the nether have them fall like 3 billion miles. Like that might work. You might, and this is a very big might, but you might be able to even have this running and be underneath it. I say might because this is very heavily dependent upon like you having mob-proof things around you. But honestly, you'll probably be building this high up in the air to make sure that you don't have to clear out quite as much area. Abby, thank you for the 3-month resub. You're hatching. But either way, this is a farm though that I would suggest if you want to build this up. Nimbon has like some suggested Y values. I personally would just build this thing if you're like, just like, bro, I don't really know much about farms. I'm very intimidated. What do I do? I'd recommend that you just build this like pretty high up in the air. Your efficiency is not going to be very good. But at that point, you might as well just build one kind of high up in the air. And my reasoning for like recommending that you guys do that is actually because of the fact that if you do it that way, yeah, you're probably going to be AFKing, right? So I'm on a single player world, which means that I can't, this thing isn't running when I'm sleeping. None of my farms are running at all whenever I'm sleeping because I don't leave my computer on and like running most of the time. Sometimes I do. Sometimes like I'll leave it on for like iron and whatever. And I have to leave it on, but I specifically have to leave my machine on, which is not so great. But yeah, I would say that if you're on a server and stuff, maybe you don't worry about it. Because I feel like if you're running on a server and stuff and you build it high up in the air, it's a lot less work for yourself. Yeah, your spawn rates are not going to be great, but on a server, your spawn rates are probably not great anyways if people are on there a lot. But in addition to that, you can just AFK to your heart's content. You'll be fine. The server will keep on running without you. I mean, I don't really know how this would work, but I mean, maybe the spawn chunks and everything will keep it running. I don't know if that's true necessarily, but yeah, there's quite a few things you can be doing with a server setup. So if you're setting this up for yourself, I think you'll be A-okay just building this really high up in the air. Building it high up in the air, though, will be kind of important. What did I just do? Oh, I bolted down there. I'll see that. I have faith that we'll find that. Oops. Oh, right. I will also caution you guys, and I'll caution you guys again whenever we get towards the end of this whole thing, but be aware that whenever you look at what I get, bear in mind that this is in a giant crater in the world. You will not get, in all likelihood, unless you've also done something similar, but you will not probably get rates that are as good as this, which isn't to say that I'm saying like, oh, it's gonna be great for sure. I don't know, but temper your expectation going into this whole thing, because there is a very, very good chance that you're gonna get a smaller rate because you're gonna probably be building it either higher up in the air. You're gonna have competing mob spawns somewhere unless you do this religiously, and you're gonna just have, because of the height values and stuff and how those work, you probably will see a little bit of different behavior. So just full disclosure, don't like have your hopes set on like it's going to be the greatest thing ever, because there's a good chance that you're going to run into some issues. All right, so let me go ahead. I'm trying to conserve my rockets here because I am kind of getting concerningly low. Yikers, strikers. There are mobs on here already. What the fleep? Rockets, why? Okay, well, I mean, on one hand, good that there are mobs spawning. On the other hand, so many potential problems of death. I'm so concerned. I legitimately worry so often about how I'm going to die in this series. Because I guarantee it's gonna be something stupid. Like I'm gonna die because of like a lag spike or something strange, and I'm not even playing on a server, which makes it so much worse. But all right, last one. Here we go. That's the last of the dispensers. Now obviously I have to go back down actually and get a dropper and such, but yeah, this will be the last of the dispensers, and we can start setting up the actual redstone for the top and also the ceiling. So this is going to be like the last part before this whole thing goes operational on us. But let me go ahead and finish this whole section off right here. But we're almost there at the end. We're getting pretty dadgum close. And if I play my cards just right, I should be looking at a pretty good situation here. So remember, all I need to do at this particular point in time, right, is I need to go put in the water buckets, because I have omitted the water buckets because I've just kind of gotten to a build rhythm and groove. So I still have to go all the way back down and get the water buckets in there. I want to say, I don't know how true this is, but I want to say that we'll probably be okay with regards to like, no, I don't know. I think we'll be okay to have them kind of run and not have them connected to our storage system yet. It's not optimal because like the mob drops will just kind of like be sitting there probably, but should be fine. I'm also kind of curious to know if maybe we can incorporate an iron golem for an extra killer. There is something that is possible, which is some mobs will survive because of like goofy things that are happening. There is also a good chance that some of the things that can happen is like, for example, like a zombie can spawn with feather falling. And then that kind of ruins the drop thing. But because of where you sit and the height wise of everything, it should be fairly good to you. So we'll have to see. We'll have to definitely figure out how that's going to go about its business. I'm so very concerned every time I jump. All right, so let me see here. I'm going to need the dropper. And honestly, let's just bring the whole... Yeah, let's just bring all 10 water buckets. Because all the dispensers will be down at this point. So they'll all be cascading together anyway. So yeah, let's do it. Brain fart. Okay, I need 15. And then buckets. A lot of them. All right. And so begins the dangerous part of what I'm doing. All right, so first thing first, for sure, I need to make sure that we're going from the top down. That's going to make my life a little bit easier. So let me go ahead and make my way up. I do see a creeper there. That's a big yikers strikers from me. Did I really make my way all the way back up here and not bring... Yeah, I didn't bring it. Dadgummit. All right, so I need to go get slabs as well. Tell you what, I'm gonna break you. Okay. I am so very concerned. I'm going to drop down and there's just going to be like a creeper just happily smiling at me going, "Hey there, buddy. How are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, speak of the devil. I knew it. He's plotting against me." Well, that wasn't my, not my best moment, but that's all right. Okay. Thank you very much for your generous contribution of gunpowder to the cause. I do appreciate. Okay. Literally only concern is creepers. Whoops. All I worry about right now is creepers. Okay, except for like this really weird berserk spider. Jeez, man, relax. I don't know what that spider's problem was, but it was very angry. All right, move that through. Okay. And we got, looks like 3 more to go. So far, it's been going pretty smoothly, like alarmingly smoothly. Okay. Looks like we're making pretty good progress here. All right, nice. Okay, very good. That looks like we've managed to do the whole kit and caboodle. So the cascade is now ready. I really hope I didn't miss any. I'm actually genuinely surprised. Like, this is going... I've now done a couple of builds and not had that many setbacks, which is kind of impressive to me. I know some of you guys are like, not what I want to hear from the guy that I'm following with. But, I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, I don't know. I'm not used to things going this smoothly. It's Minecraft, right? Like, any number of things can go very poorly for me. So I'm kind of like Pikachu shock face right now. It's going quite smoothly. Again, I know I'm not exactly inspiring confidence with these statements, but I'm pretty pleased. I'm chuffed to bits, right? That's the expression. All right, let's go ahead and go up. Oh, wait. We had a little nerdy scaffold. I think the scaffolds would break in theory if we went ahead and just ran the water, but either way. All right, I'm just kind of doing like a quick little spot inspection, making sure that I don't see anything goofy going on. Well, I didn't really check the rest of them, but I'm just going to trust that I didn't screw this up. First and last mistake. Okay, and then we'll fill this in there. Nice. All right, now, this is the part that's super duper important, right? So you get to the final platform. You're feeling good about yourself. You are looking in the mirror every day and going, geez, how can you be that good looking? And indeed, it's a mystery. However, the real thing that you got to keep an eye out for, the thing that can mess you up at this point is this part right here. So many things can go wrong. I know, you might be like, but I just struggled all that time. Why can I not be free? It's because you got one last hurdle to overcome. You put in the last observer. It's going to flood, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just, whoop. This is going to flood. I am not sure what happened to that slab, question mark. So yeah, okay, so that's all there. That's all dandy. And now I'm going to put a dropper. Now, where the dropper is oriented, I don't think actually really matters. But let me see here. Oh, scaffolding does hold its shape. Weird. Okay. So I'm going to put the dropper facing up. It's not actually all that important, but this is going to go ahead and invert all the water things so it's not all running. Yeah. So that's all set now. And then now we get to work on the really spooky part. I think I made this so it was facing downwards. That's okay though. So I'm going to go ahead. Whoop. I'm going to go ahead. Question mark. And then I'm going to go and start some slabbage right here. You're going to notice that these are going to be half slabs on the bottom. And then there's going to be like these weird ones that are not. Don't worry, this will make sense. But for the time being, go off of this, okay? So just to kind of make sure that you guys are able to follow along with me just fine. I have absolutely zero idea where that thing went. Where did I just put a slab down? All right, so I'm just going to break that. Okay, so let's start this together. So you get to this level, right? You put the dropper down instead of the dispenser, where you have the like top of your whole thing. You're then going to go out 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay? So again, we're going to go from to the other side and do the same exact thing. All right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. All right? I'm going to go ahead and sleep. It's going to make a diamond shape here. And this diamond shape, it's going to be important for our dimensions because that's going to be the shape that we need in order to make everything dark, right? So I'm going to go ahead. I have all my different materials I'm going to need from here on out on me. So let me just go ahead and make my way back up and hopefully not kill myself. All right, so let me go ahead and now just do the other sides of the diamond. I like doing the other sides of the diamond. I find it to be a little bit nicer and easier to work with. So I'm just going to go ahead and make myself like a little headquarter thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And I know that you're probably like rolling your eyes like, Choco, I'm not a child. Why are you treating me as such? I know, but just be patient here because this is super duper important. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. All right. I'm going to be filling in them like this way instead of doing my little typewriter style. You probably could do the typewriter style, and probably, honestly, that probably would be a little bit easier. But I'm going to do it this way because of the fact that I think it's nice to just confirm if you're in the right spot. So that's why I'm setting it up the way that I am. We're not going to do the redstone first. We're actually going to do the ceiling first before we do the redstone. And then we'll come back and we'll kind of, fix some things up here and there. So let me go ahead and let's start filling this bad boy in. This is going to be where you're using most of those stone slabs that you were getting together. You might be like, man, Choco, it doesn't seem like you used all of them. This is the part we're going to use quite a few of them. You're going to be using quite a few of these blocks. So let me go ahead. And actually, we're going to typewriter anyways. So let me go through, and we're literally just making a diamond shape, right? Now you might kind of roll your eyes at this and be like, bruh, like why you gotta be this way? But seriously, this will make a pretty big difference. So let me go ahead. I'm gonna make it so my rendering isn't quite as nuts. So if you're playing without Lightmatica or anything like that, then you might just be like, wow, I don't know how you're going to be able to tell. Well, this is how you tell. You just run to the edge, and then you're just going to know. Okay, I'm good. We're just going to go back and forth and back and forth. Because this has like no weird shape or oddities, you can kind of do whatever you want. Now, a couple of things to note about this as well. As far as I'm aware, it will not impact it in any kind of significant way, I don't think, if you were to change the shape of this a whole lot. In 1.14.4, I think it checks chunk by chunk, but it's like a one block, like your X and Z coordinate. It checks it per X, Y, Z, X, Z coordinate, I guess, to find the highest block. So that will still be a factor in here, but I think you could probably change the shape a little bit and you wouldn't have too many problems. Also, Carnage with 13-month resub, another month. Ow, my eye just kind of died on me. Okay. Wow, that's a huge eye booger. All right, another month, another sub message. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving holiday and an amazing Christmas and New Year this December. Right back at you, Carnage. I hope everything is well with you. Also, shout out to the devious people of Twitch chat. Some folks are very sad, it seems, that I don't get spooked into death. But joke's on you. I have an elytra. I can survive falls from now on. It seems like people are... sometimes I'm like, wow, the Quake community, so nice, so loving, so like very concerned about my safety. And then other days, Quake community sometimes just be like spooky town and just waiting for my death. I'd like to remind you all that this is a hardcore series. If I die, that's it. The world is gone. Is that really what you want? And before people say yes, and I'm just like heartbroken, I'm like, I thought this meant something to us. All right. I do like this typewriter style, by the way. This is my favorite way to build straightaways in Minecraft. I know it's not the fastest, but hot dang if I don't enjoy it. Because you can't really screw this up, right? I guess like if the server goes goofy on you, if you're playing on a server or whatever, you can have like something strange that happens, but effectively you can't have it placed poorly. It's pretty nice. Uh-oh. We went one too far. Okay. And then just going through, and we're just making progress ever so nicely. I sense the presence of a wild Momo. Use Kiss is super effective. You want to say anything on the recording? No? No? You don't want to like wish them a happy Thanksgiving and all that?
Thanksgiving is over. It's Christmas time now.
Yeah, I know, but don't you want to wish... No, don't wish them a Merry Crisis. A crisis is bad! Guys, gals, she didn't mean it. She didn't mean to wish you a Merry Crisis. She wants you to have a good day. And also, I don't know what happened. For those of you who know about this little like story about me and Momo, I'm not really sure what happened to the chapstick that used to be in this room. I don't see it anymore. I think she took it back, which is pretty pog. So yeah, let's not bring that up, shall we? I've somehow managed to dodge being chapstick for a while, so I'm pretty pleased about it. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I just don't like chapstick, and she sometimes likes to put it on me. So yeah, I'm trying to avoid that for as long as I can. Okay, and then right there. Also, for those OG fans out there, if me having said that made you think of log.zip and me, fam, I see you. Alright. Very cool. We're getting there. We're getting there. And remember, this is pretty much the final steps here, right? We have one more step after this, which is to set up the hopper clock. But after we've done that, we are quite seriously done with the mob farm, and it's going to be up and running and all that good stuff. You may even actually see... Oh, actually, I guess there is technically one more step after that. But yeah, you're going to start noticing that there's the number of mobs are going to start spiking up here. Pretty well and good. All right, let's see here. Let me just move a whole bunch of slabs over. JK, I'm going to move all the slabs over. Pog. Okay, pretty cool. And like this, we mosey on along. I do see some mobs down there. Oh, soon I'll have all of your delightful drops. I'm thinking that at some point we may even want to put like some villagers in here so I can just trade with them freely. That might be something I consider doing. I'm not super sure. It makes sense to me that our centralized storage area would also be where we have like villager things. But I have a plan for something else, so we'll have to see. I am currently plotting something else on this world. There are 3 farms I'd like to do before the world goes down. And to that end, I'll be working hard to make that happen. But I'll give you guys a little teaser. One of the farms I do wish to make is not a bat farm. Is that a bat I saw down there? That better not be a freaking bat. I hate bats. Mojang, I beg, please give us a way to block bat spawns. Honestly, for this Christmas, that's all I ask. Just give us something that blocks bats in our world. Honest to goodness, I'd probably adopt a mod for that. Just get rid of bats forever. Just seeing one, It's sickening. It honestly is sickening. I hate bats so much in Minecraft. Those things are so annoying, and they're gonna be here forever now. Blurg. I sound like a Batman villain. Such a struggle. Such a struggle. Every day, every time. Alright, let's see. We're getting there. Alright. This is looking pretty sharp. I actually do really like the way that this thing looks. It's kind of neat because it's like, oh, derp. Oh, actually, that's a good thing I came down here again because I would not have remembered about that. All right. Hurry up. Okay, very cool. Also, I'm pretty convinced that I'm going to splat myself to death one of these days with the elytra. No worries. A lot of worries. Increasing worries. Oh, I don't know why. Why did I do it this way? Okay. Okay, let me see here. So we're going to keep on plugging along here. In truth, I don't think I'm sensitive to nighttime anymore. I don't. Well, I guess they could spawn on the dropper, huh? I guess that's a possibility, but I'm not too terribly concerned about that happening. So I think we're going to work through the night. I know that's kind of like a suspiciously like, that doesn't sound smart, but we're going to work through the night. I'm going to see what happens here. I'm not at risk of phantoms because I've recently slept, so I think this will be okay. Okay, nope. One is not like the others. All right. Oh my word! Look at all those bats! Are you kidding me? What is that? Oh my... I hope, against all hope, that what this means is that we're low enough for the slimes to still spawn. I think that they do have to be below a certain Y level. But my gracious me. Look at all the bats! You know what? We might make it so it's like if we hit a certain like goal every episode, I'm just going to be able to like use like game mode commands or something. We'll go back into Cheaterton mode. And I'm just going to do kill all bats. Knowing me, I'll probably do like kill all entities and lose all my villagers and everything. But I hate bats so much. If anyone has a good way to prevent bats from spawning, please, please, please do share with me in the YouTube comments or in Twitch chat. Twitch chat, if you do know, like tell me after the fact or like let a mod know how or something, because I would love to never have to worry about bats ever. And again, I am not a Batman villain. Oh, this is gonna be in the way of our beacon, huh? It's not gonna have direct access to light. We're gonna have to move that bacon a little bit. Okay, so that's actually something I didn't even think about, but interesting. I suppose I could build the bacon above the thing, right? I don't suppose there's anything that prevents me from doing that. I suppose that would make some degree of sense because I'm not super concerned about having the highest efficiency thing. So yeah, I guess that would work. We could build it on top. Be kind of neat. Sorry, beacon. Oh, that's soul crushing. Wait, is it still going through? What? How? Wait, what? Are slabs considered transparent? Question mark? Huh? Oh my goodness, is this the coolest thing I've ever learned about in Minecraft? What? They block light, but they're considered transparent for the case of this? What? Nani? Oh my word, my life. This is why I don't know. I know some people are just like, bro, how can you still be playing Minecraft all these years? I find stuff out all the time that I've never known about Minecraft. It's so cool. How can you not like Minecraft? Oh, it's just, the mechanics. There's so many cool mechanics I'm learning all the time. It's so nuts. Oh, man. It's literally a world where you can learn about like all kinds of goofy things you can do. Oh, I love it so much. Sorry, I don't know why I gush about Minecraft randomly. I'm a nerd. Oh. Actually, you know what? I think this is what, the third time I've used beacons, really? We don't typically use beacons except for aesthetics, really. Like, even in How to Minecraft Season 1, I think I use it specifically for the Zephyr build. I don't even know if I built any... Did I even beat it? I don't think I built a beacon in Balam, did I? I don't think I did. So I think the Zephyr one, it was just like to help elevate the crystal, right? So yeah, I don't know. I have absolutely no earthly idea. I don't know how many of these things we've ever made. Weird. Okay. Go ahead and just ploppity plop 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 down to the shop. All right, I'm going to kind of cheat my way on this part. I'm not going to typewriter it. I know. After I've told you all these things about the merits of doing it typewriter style, and then I suddenly betray you this way. I know, it's terrible. All right. Voila. The ceiling, dunzo. Dunsky. All right. Now, this is the part that's going to get a little bit weird and goofy. I'm going to use double slabs here. I know the game is going to be very sore that I did this, but tough luck. And then with this, we're now going to do the redstone part. The very last thing I'm going to do here is going to be the redstone block, because of the fact that I don't want the redstone block to activate the flushing just yet. I want that to be the very last thing that happens. So if you're wondering why I'm doing this kind of like in the order that I am, it's not necessarily that's important to do it this way. I just want to do it that way. So if you're curious, that's why. All right, so very first thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and put 2 blocks over here. The important thing, remember where the dropper location is. It doesn't really matter what orientation you put this hopper clock or whatever, and you can do the repeater thing that Nembon does or your own version if you want to. But really the main key here is that just make sure that the redstone block will occasionally hit the dropper for the case of how we're doing it, right? So that's the only part that matters. You can do whatever orientation you want. But just for our hopper clock, I think this is an etho hopper clock, if I'm not mistaken. I tend to get kind of confused about these things that I don't really know all the time. But I think this is an etho hopper clock. But either way, I'm just going to go ahead and put those 2 blocks down there. I'm going to go ahead and also follow up with putting a redstone dust here and here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the sticky piston. I'm going to aim it right off the side of that redstone dust like so. And then in the same way, we're just going to go ahead and flop that over there. Nice. And then we're going to go ahead and put our comparators, one over here and one over there. You don't have to turn it on to subtract mode or anything weird. You can just leave them as it is. And then we're going to have hoppers that are facing into each other. So I'm going to put a temporary block right there, a hopper facing into that temporary block, and then a hopper facing into that one as well. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put this to 30 items. That's just how long I think is going to be fine. I think you can tune this down to be a little bit faster than this, but I'm going to go ahead and use 30. That should be totally A-okay. I don't know what situation there's going to be anything falling into this thing, but that should be fine as is. And of course, because I am the humongo brain, I put this in with no redstone block. All right, so redstone block, let me go ahead and put that right there. There goes the flusher, and then 30 blocks here, and then the clock is now running. Very, very cool. There's one last part, and then we are officially donezo with this whole thing. And it's not an unimportant part either. So, you've made all this now, right? I'm going to go look at the F3 for the dropper, okay? So I'm looking at the dropper's F3, not the redstone block, but the dropper, yeah? So I'm at Y82. Now this part, I know some of you are going to groan whenever I say this, but it's good for you. Builds character. You're going to go ahead and do some math, all right? Now don't freak out just yet. It's not the end of the world just now. But we're going to go ahead. Actually, very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a solid block right there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put some scaffolds down. And I'm going to go and build this thing up. Now, here is the thing that we are going to need to do. With the way that mechanics work for spawn logic and stuff, we're going to need to go pretty high up in the air to make sure that if you are doing this somewhere where there are other mobs that are competing for spawns and stuff, that will be something that this will help with. This will also be something that makes sure that we are built in such a way and we're AFKing in a place that is very good for us to be in. So I think we've actually overshot it a fair bit here. We overshot this by a mile. Good Lord. Okay. So let me go ahead and just turn on all so I can see whatever. Aha, there it is. Okay, cool. So this right here is going to be our AFK platform. Couple of recommendations for AFK platform. Number one, I do think it would be wise. I think it'd be smart for you to go ahead and give yourself a transparent block, right? This is a fairly important thing, but a transparent block, so no mob spawn, all that good stuff. But a transparent block that is going to be not super duper big, but something that is also going to be comfortably safe for you to be in. Why do I say it the way that I do? Because you're going to want to make sure that phantoms can get to you, right? So you're going to want to make sure that this thing is secure from phantom threats, because obviously no one wants to get murdered by a phantom. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and cage this all up with glass. So if I do ever decide to AFK in here, it's not going to be the end of my life, hopefully. So let me go ahead and just get the rest of this glass right here. And I'm just going to do something a little like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and seal it off from the top like so. All right, now I know obviously that this is not the greatest solution as of right now, and we'll probably make it so like we can get into here a little bit more easily, but we'll probably want to bed up in here. I don't have one on me at the moment, but we'll probably want to bed in here. I'm going to leave those scaffolds as is for the time being. They will actually mess with my spawn rates a little bit, but let's just see. Let's see what we've got. So we finished it now. We clocked in the building part of this at 1 hour and 35. Let me go ahead and let's see what we're rolling with here. So if, you know, I can do this proper. The big thing that I want from this all, hands down, is gunpowder. So snippity snap. Well, I mean, we're going to get a lot of string. That was a thing. Okay. Hey, we got gunpowder. That was awesome. I mean, I don't think that, like, obviously that was built up from a little bit, but that was amazing. That was so cool. Oh, that was worth every moment of building this. Holy macaroni. Oh yeah, we got junk all over the place now. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, was that it? Was that we only had one street? Tell me that isn't super satisfying, and I'm going to tell you that you're lying. Ow! What? Aha! Feather falling nerd. So, as I said before, every now and then you'll get a couple of these menaces that are just like, we don't really care about any of your rules, which is kind of dumb, but let me go ahead and... Uh-oh. I saw him drop boots. Where did his boots go? What? What? Where did his boots go? Wait, I'm not crazy, right? We all saw the boots go through. Wait, are they considered like big enough to... Oh, they are. Feather falling 4? What do you mean? Question marks. Exclamation point. Question marks. How did you live? Wait, what is this about? How did you make it through? Oh, you spawned here on the... Okay, you spawned because of the bacon. The bacon is what caused you. Okay, gotcha. All right. I know I just broke the glass that indicated where the slime chunk is, but I think we'll live. All right, so we have all this squared away. I am definitely going to need to sort out my item sorting system. But I think that's a good bit of proof that this thing is working. That is so cool. I'm sorry, but it's literally raining mobs. You cannot tell me that's not cool. Come on. That is so cool. All right, well, hold on. Okay, so we have obviously one last thing that we have to do, which is I clearly need to light up the bacon area because that thing is looking like it's going to need some extra love in its life. So let me go ahead, eat up some grub. I swear, these bats are going to drive me batty. Oh, ow! What the? How? Really? Feather falling boots? Like you as well, A2? Really? This many of you? This rapidly? Is this yoke? Okay, well, anyways, I can unload the schematic. Because we're all good now. It's clearly working. Two of them. I can't believe that. Get your butts out of here. Offensive. Alright, anywho. I don't know what all that's about. That's goofy to me, and I don't like that. Anywho, let me go ahead. Let's wrap things off. Wrap things off? Is that even an expression? Let's wrap things up the right way. Gosh, that's so satisfying. Just watching them. Like, we have a lot of spiders that drop. Jeez. Maybe we didn't even need to worry about spider spawners. We basically have a spider spawner in this. So, let me go ahead. I can actually pretty freely use rockets at this point. Oh, yeah, no. We're going to cut down. We're going to cut down the timer on this hopper. It's too long. I think we'll cut it down. Maybe 20 is the right number here. Okay, so let me go ahead, use some of the last rockets that we got. And I'm going to hopefully land here. And then get some charcoal. Or if I have torches. Yep, I do. Sweet. Okay, very cool. And then we're going to fly on over here. Oh, you can already tell it's overflowing. Yikes. Okay. Oh, a witch died at some point. Multiple witches died. That is so satisfying. Oh my, sorry. I love that. Uh-oh. Oh no, you don't. Punk. All right. So let me go ahead. Put some torchies all over this thing. I find it ridiculous that a beacon is not emanating enough light to, like, be safe. I find that kind of strange, but okay, whatever. Don't matter. All right, so anyways, the beacon of light aside, I think we're pretty much good. So I'm going to take some of this gunpowder here as the spoils of war. I thought I had, yeah, I have paper here. So yeah, let me just go ahead. I'm going to make the flight duration 3 rockets. We're finally upgrading our rockets. I never even got to do this in HXM. So we're living a life right now. We live in the best life we know how. Alrighty. And, ow. Even though we have the scaffolding nonsense, I think that we'll probably try to figure out something a little bit more effective than this. I think I'm going to just make it so you have to fly into here, but I don't want to make it death trap, so we'll have to see how that goes. But let me go ahead. I'm going to leave a bed right there. Pretty happy with that. I guess we'll just use like fence gates or something like we did in HXM. But anyways, all right, so let me go ahead and I'm going to leave this scaffold here. It's just going to be safer. So let's go back down. Let's watch that satisfying bit one more time. It's so dark there, though. I wonder what setting it is that's doing this. I don't know what I did. Is it because of the smooth lighting? Or is it dynamic lights? I don't know. The game very clearly changed, like, I changed something, so it looks a little bit more potatoey than normal. Oh! Wait, what? One of the zombies went flying off a different way. Oh, man, that is so cool. This might be my favorite farm ever. I want to watch it again. See you later, dude. It's just a torrent of mobs. Oh, the spiders are all fighting to fall. Oh. Yeah, I think we're good now. I literally think that we will never, ever have to worry about any of these mob drops ever again. That is absolutely excellent. Anyways, thank you all very much for watching this episode of Choco's World. I don't think I have anything I can say on top of that. I think that's literally it. Ow. Ah! My hair. Ow, ow, ow. Ugh, headset. Why gotta rip out my hair? All right. So I guess my homework assignment for this whole thing is number one. Let me get you out of here, nerd. Really? Oh my land. Okay, whatever. Fine. So my homework assignment is definitely going to have to be that I'm going to need to sort out what I'm doing with these different ones, so I can have the mob stuff start populating into this whole system, because I want those drops. I want those drops, man. So yeah, that'll be my game plan. But today, mob farm, and an awesome mob farm too. Again, huge credit to Nembon. This is awesome. I love this thing. This thing is so darn satisfying to watch. It's just so satisfying. Oh, it's so beautiful. Anyways, next time, I don't even know what we're going to be doing next time. I kind of feel like, I think we peaked. I don't know what else we're doing next time. Let me think here. What do we have next on that? I don't even know. You know what? I'm gonna say I'm not sure what we're going to be doing next time, because this was super effective. I really like this. I think, you know what? It might actually be time. I know this is going to be kind of like a goofy thing to say, but I think it might be time to actually start working on a home. I think we're hitting a point where I think we might make it on this series. I think we might be able to survive forever. I don't know. Like, we have a gold farm, obviously, to go, and that will be something that I definitely do want to tackle at some point. But I don't necessarily know if I need to do it now. So the question is, when do I want to do it? And I just don't think it's important to do at this moment. So, oh, you know what? There is one thing that I do have to do, actually, which is slime farm. So I guess that's something. So we'll see. I'll look into it. Maybe we'll do one of the other farms I've been kind of fiending for a little bit here, but we'll have to see. But for right now, I think that's going to do it. What was that thing holding? What is that? Is that, are those leaves? What? What were you? No, I could have sworn I saw leaves, but I guess I'm just an idiot. I don't know what that was about. How many father falling dudes are? Get out! Wait, actually no. Get down here first and then get out. All right. Anyways, thank you all very much for watching, and as always, and most importantly, take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful, safe day, and until next time. Really? Ciao for now. I know we just did the outro, but I was watching the mob farm work for a while, and a baby zombie villager survived. That's amazing. I want to keep it. If I leave, he's gonna despawn. Oh, I'm so sad. Oh, little buddy. Oh, little buddy. You'll be remembered. I can't believe that. That's insane. Wow, there are so many zombies spawning with feather falling. I don't think it's ever supposed to be this many of them. Jeez Louise, there's two. Oh no. Okay, so little fun factoid. If they pick up an item, they'll stay there forever. They won't impact the mob cap though. But either way, not exactly desirable. But, and they're all carrying bones, because there's literally, it's probably just like a giant, just ripperoonie of bones. I just missed every single shot you can imagine. Okay, yeah. I don't have the heart to shoot the little baby villager. Oh, this is glorious. I love it.